Hey there everyone and welcome to Real Yoga. I've got my whole crew with me today. This is Baloo and that's Felix, sitting awkwardly as usual. And today we're bringing you yoga for tired legs. So I know that I've been on loads and loads of hikes lately. We're still in lockdown where I am, and that means most activities are out except for hiking. So I've had tired legs just about every weekend. So if this is you or you can relate, then this practice is going to be exceptional. If you have something lying around that could work as a yoga block, or better, 2 yoga blocks. So something that could help is 2 drink bottles. Toilet paper rolls are surprisingly effective as yoga blocks. Cereal boxes could work. They don't necessarily have to be the same exact height. It's helpful, but you know, no one's gonna die. So grab something around your house that can work as 2 kind of stabilizing things for you, and a blanket maybe if you have sensitive knees to place underneath your knees. Otherwise, when you're ready, get into your stretchy pants and we'll meet you on the mat. Alright, so when you're ready, we'll get started. Again, like I said, if you have sensitive knees, placing a blanket underneath your knee area might be nice for this practice. We will be spending quite a bit of time on hands and knees. And just a warning, this first part is gonna suck. My yoga teacher does this with me. I low-key love it. It's one of those like hurts but in a good way things. But just be very gentle with yourself because this can get a little extreme. So, warning, with that in mind, come forward onto all fours. Try not to disturb your dog's position. And we're gonna pick up the right leg and cross our right shin bone. Oh, the disturbing happened. And cross our right shin bone into the fleshy part of our left calf muscle. And then we're gonna slowly walk our hands back just as far as feels good. So you might need to brace yourself and keep your hands on the floor, and that's totally fine. Or you might be able to maybe come up a little higher onto your fingertips. Ooh, what you should be feeling here is quite an intense sensation in your left calf muscle. So what we're doing is working into the fascia of our left leg. And so what fascia is, it's this fascinating thing. If you think of an orange and you peel the orange, and there's the peel, and then there's the fleshy, juicy part of the orange, the yummy bit. But then there's all this white, kind of stringy crap that you've got to get rid of. So this is similar to what fascia is, and it's literally everywhere. It's not just between the layer of our skin and our muscle. It's in every nook and cranny of our bodies is filled with fascia. And if our fascia is tight, it's harder for us to stretch and lengthen our muscles. And I'm talking about all this to try to distract you from the fact that your left calf muscle is on fire, no? So we're gonna be here for just one more breath. Whoo, let it out. And then slowly walk your hands forward, unravel your legs. From here, tuck your left toes underneath you and extend your left leg out behind you. And feel free here to shift a little forward and back. And don't feel that you have to kind of use too many muscles here. In fact, you can draw your chin towards your chest and maybe just gently press the mat away from you as you spike that left heel back, getting a little extra stretch into that left calf. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Let's take one more inhale breath here. And one more exhale. Nice. All right, you know what's coming. So come back onto all fours. This time we're going to pick up the left leg and cross our left shin bone into that meaty part of our right calf. And then walk your hands back, 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 just to wherever feels appropriate, your appropriate edge. And some of you might be able to go hands free here. Way tough. But don't feel that that's necessarily the goal to get to. It's not. It's just a matter of how your legs are feeling. And I know for me, mine are super, super sore. I've been doing so much hiking, which has been excellent. But, you know, you start feeling it. So stay here, breathe. You can curse my name. It's all good. I'll try and put a protective little Zen barrier around myself. You can stare at your pets. It helps to distract. Hey, Felix. Yeah, good boy. All right, 3 more breaths here. You're doing so, so good. Oh, yeah. 2 more breaths. And final breath. Ooh. Slowly walk your hands forward. Unravel your legs. And this time tuck your right toes underneath you. Extend your right leg out long. And then here again, find a little shifting movements forwards and backwards, or really anything here that feels like a release for that right calf muscle. And then if it feels good, you can drop your chin to your chest, find stillness as you press the mat away from you gently and really draw that right heel towards the back edge of your mat. Ooh, nice. 1 more inhale breath. And 1 more exhale. All right, from here, come onto all fours, and we're simply, without anything fancy, going to step our right foot forward in between the hands. And of course, if your foot doesn't make it on the first go, you can help to get it there. A blanket, if you're still using it, is great here. Now, grab your block objects, whatever you found around the house and on any level, and we're simply going to stay in this low lunge. So if you're lucky enough to have a pair of yoga blocks and you can adjust the levels, go for it. Or you might be lucky enough to have found different leveled objects around your house, and maybe you found the perfect size for yourself. Don't overthink it, don't sweat it too much. Whatever you're using, take an inhale breath as you lengthen your chest forward. And as you exhale, see if you can release a little bit down into your hips. So now we're starting to stretch our quad muscle. Nice. We're simply going to hold and breathe here. And if it feels good for you to slightly find a bit of movement, maybe you tick-tock your hips a little from side to side, or maybe you make some funky little hip circles while you're here, go for it. And of course, if it feels good to just find stillness and work with your breath, that is always a wonderful, wonderful option. Ooh. Nice. Don't worry too much if your front knee isn't directly over your front ankle. If it's behind it, perfect. If it's very, very far forward, see if you can maybe scoot your foot forward just a little, just not to over-aggravate the knee. But again, one of the things that we're starting to learn in our yoga practice is that all these rules that have been set for so long are not necessarily right for everybody's body. So as long as you're not experiencing anything that would be described as sharp, agonizing pain, then you're doing it. It's all good. All right, let's find 1 more breath in here. And then as you exhale, we're going to take those props with us as we slide our hips back and flex the toes. Now, you may need to scooch your front foot forward just a little so you make space. And here we are in a little half split or a runner's lunge. And in this shape, can you try to pull your right hip crease back as you shine your left hip crease forward? Spread your toes like you've got little toe separators in between them. You've got this big, wide foot. Nice. And as you spread your toes, can you feel as though you're pressing the heel forward towards your pet dog? Try and keep length in the spine, and if that means you need to adjust the height of your props, then go ahead. Your front leg does not have to be straight. A bent knee is totally fine. We're still working here with the hamstring muscle now. So before we were targeting the front of our left leg, and now we're targeting the back of our right leg. 1 more breath in here. And as you exhale, bend through your front knee. You can move the blocks to the side, press into your hands, and then step it back onto your all fours position, your tabletop position. Maybe here you tick-tock your hips a little from side to side, Or you might like to make a couple of circles with your hips forward and backwards. If you're taking the circle option, do a couple rounds in the opposite direction. Lovely. And then we'll take this to the other side. So when you're ready, step your left foot forward in between your hands. You can help it get there if it doesn't quite make it. Bring your yoga props, whatever you're using, in towards you on whichever height works best for you. Take a deep inhale breath as you lengthen through the front of your body. And as you exhale, can you sink a little more deeply into your hips? So we want to experience this stretch across now the front of our right hip, or our right quad muscle. And I mean, you can, if you're up for it, you can exaggerate that stretch by scooching your knee back a little more, but yikes, it might be too much. So just play with whatever feels right for your body today. Again, we'll stay here for a few breaths. Notice if your front body starts to hunch forward. Think about having this really confident and open chest. So your collarbones are spread apart, and that's why we're using the blocks. So we can create this space in the front of our bodies, in our spine, so that we don't have to worry so much about hitting the floor. Nice. Felix is very much in his chill zone. They've also been going on these extra long walks, so if someone wants to give me some doggy yoga poses that we can do together, let me know. That would be such a fun video. One more inhale breath. And then again here, we're going to use the exhale to send the hips back and flex the toes towards your nose. Again, you can adjust the blocks. If you've got more space to work with today, maybe you go lower. If you're like, nah, you can come up a little bit higher. Spread your toes wide, and at the same time, press the heel of the foot forward. Nice. Hey, buddy. Keep lengthening through your spine. And once again, can you feel as though you want to shift this left hip crease back so this right hip crease starts to rotate forward? Felix, you're going to find a place to sit. He's getting a little old and senile these days. He's all good. All right, one more breath in here. And out. Nice. From here, we're once again going to roll it forward, come back into that lunge. Shift your blocks out of the way. Press into your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and this time we're stepping back into our first downward facing dog. So here in your downward dog, start to pedal out your legs, bend one knee and then the other. And then when you find stillness eventually in this shape, see if you can bend your knees a lot. So don't worry so much about finding these really straight legs. And then press your hands into the mat as you roll your sit bones to the sky. Nice. And then from here, this should feel good on your tired legs. Start to lift up high on your tippy toes. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, press the fronts of your thighs onto the backs of your thighs as you lower your heels down towards the earth. And they don't have to hit down, it's no problem. Just feel as though your legs are super long. Should be a really nice stretch through the whole back plane of your leg. Nice. Okay, from here we're going to move into a bit of an IT band stretch. We'll start on the left side so you can see what I'm doing. So take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring your left knee towards your right elbow and then cross that foot out to the side. And then very gently start to lower yourself down onto the outer edge of your left hip. So you can untuck those back toes. So we're kind of making like a funky L shape with our legs. Fingertips point forward and you might stay here. This might be enough. So you're welcome to stay here and just focus on lifting up through the chest and then finding a little bit of flexion in your left foot. If you've got a little more in you today, you can start to bring your hands forward and maybe lower down onto your forearms. And this will enhance that tension in the IT band, or the connective tissue that runs along the outer side of our left leg. And of course, if you've got it even more in you, maybe you make a little pillow for your head and come down. So we're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Try and make your breaths even, and you might even like to count the breaths. So, for example, you could inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. If it's much too much, then you can also bend your back leg, so bend your right leg, and this might alleviate some of the pressure, or of course you can come out at any time, whatever suits you. Let's do one more breath in and out. If you've come down to your forearms, then start to repress up onto your hands, tuck your back toes, and then find some funky way back into your downward facing dog. Give yourself a little bend, a little twist. Ooh. Nice. Okay, when you're ready, other side, we're going to take our right knee over to our left elbow and then kick the right leg out at about 90 degrees. And then lower down onto the outer edge of your right hip. Just let your left leg be heavy. And then rotate your chest towards the front of the mat. It doesn't have to be perfect here. Don't twist your spine too much, especially if you've got an owie lower back. And then from there, maybe you start to lower down onto the forearms, or again, you can make a little pillow for your head using your hands. A little bit of activity in that right foot, so a little bit of flexion there. And maybe again, you come back to those even, full breaths. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. And sweet. From here, once again, slowly press up onto your hands. Tuck your back toes and send yourself back into downward facing dog. Give your legs a little bit of pedal. Again, feel free to twist it out into your hips if that feels good for you. And then from here, slowly walk your feet forward, cross your ankles, and come all the way down into a seat. Nice. All right, so in your seat, have your knees really bent and hug them in close to your chest. Close enough that you are able to grab a hold of your feet. And if you can't reach your feet, it's also not necessary. You can just continue to hold on to the backs of your legs. So wherever you're at, find your spot, and then inhale to lift your chest up. And as you exhale, slowly start to lengthen your legs. You can keep your knees bent. You'll see I'm walking my booty back behind me. Sometimes it does get in the way. So if you need to shift your gifts out of the way, please go for it. Take another inhale, find this length through your spine, this openness through your chest, just like we've been doing the whole time. And as you exhale, let your head fall down towards your legs. Try and keep a connection with your upper body and your thighs. And if you can keep that connection and find even more length in your legs, feel free to continue stretching your legs and reducing the bend in the knee. Nice. And our legs don't have to come super straight. Make it way more interesting to keep feeling your lovely belly touching your lovely thighs. Maybe you close down your eyes. I always find that in a forward fold, if I can't see the quote-unquote destination, then it really doesn't matter if I get there. Nice. And this pose is all about lengthening our legs. So if you can feel this too much of a pull in your low back, then simply bend your knees even more. We want to feel this in the backs of the legs. One more inhale. Exhale, maybe out the mouth. Nice. Open your eyes and slowly make your way back up to a seat. And now we're going to finish in my absolute number one best favorite yoga pose of all time, and it's called legs up the wall. So I encourage you to get yourself set up to possibly stay here for the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'll show you how to get it set up against the wall, and then I will leave you to it because damn, it's good. All right. So hopefully there's a wall space near you, and if there isn't, you can use your block device or a rolled up cushion or something to simply bring that block underneath your sacrum and allow your legs to float up to the sky. So this is the same benefit. But if you're working somewhere that has a wall space, then take your mat and simply send it towards the wall. All right, so here we are against the wall. Hopefully you found a clear enough space. You don't really need that much room in your apartment or house or wherever. And there's really no elegant way of getting up and down the wall. The best way I found is to sit yourself or one hip up against the wall as close as you can possibly get it. So get nice and cozy with your wall. And then to swing your legs up, simply lean back, start to lie back as you twist at the same time, sending your legs up the wall as the pose suggests, and then simply scooching, scooch, 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 or wriggling your butt up until you can feel the base of the wall. And then once you're up here, let your legs go directly up the wall and let your feet just be super floppy. So there should be zero effort involved in keeping your legs up here. Your blood might start rushing down, and this is one of the many benefits of this pose, is to decrease our blood pressure. And now with your hands might feel a bit lost in space, so you can either bring them by your sides. You might like to make cactus arms for a bit more shoulder release, or my favorite option in this pose is to bring my right hand to my belly and my left hand to the heart. So once you feel comfortable, close down your eyes. Take the deepest breath that you've taken all day long. Hold that breath at the top, and as you exhale, feel the tension drain out of your legs. Do that one more time. Deep breath in through your nose. Fill up, fill up, fill up. Fill all the way up. Hold the breath in your throat. And then as you exhale, drain all that tension out of your body. Feel it slide off of your legs like water. As I said, if you have the time, I highly, highly encourage you to set a timer for about 5 minutes. You don't have to be yogi about it. I really don't care if you've got your phone and you want to do your emailing here. It's actually a really nice way to work, I think. So 5 to 10 minutes in this pose is so beneficial. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to leave you here. Please enjoy this pose. Don't give up if you don't need to leave yet. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm going to bring my hands together, thumbs to my third eye. I wish you well. Remember to stay here. Namaste.